Hi card makers, Andrea here from Crafts on the Move in Aquabog, New York. Welcome to the Wobble Snowman card tutorial featuring Spellbinders Country Snowman die set. That is this really cute die set right here. This kit comes with enough product to make 3 of the same A2 cards and does not contain the die set. The die set was included in the first kit of the series or is a separate purchase depending on what kit option you bought when you signed up for these card kits. Another thing I want to make note of is the ink blending will be completed by you, and the inks I used are the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. The colors I used are Tumbled Glass, Stormy Sky, and Faded Jeans, and I'll review that again as we go through the tools and supply list. This is our adorable card. This is the featured card we'll be making, so you'll have enough product to make 3 of these, and it is a Wobble card. It's a very fun interactive card. A couple other items that you will need if you want are some alcohol markers, and that was what I used to add the little bird seed on the bird feeder. That is completely optional. The colors and brand of markers I used are on the instruction list. A couple of other Spellbinder items that were used in creating some of your kit contents include the 3D Sparkling Snow embossing folder. This is a go-to for me. This is a store favorite. Another item I use is the landscape edges, which comes with 3 different edges. It's a hill, a grass, and a cloud border. This is evergreen product as well. It's very good to have in your stash. And lastly, I did foil the greetings, and I used one of the Spellbinders press plate sets and my glimmer with some black foil to create the sentiments for you that are included in your kit. During the tutorial, I will review the card kit contents, share the supplies and tools required to assemble the cards, and assemble the cards so that you can craft along. Let's build a snowman and dig into the kit and start crafting. This kit comes with written instructions, a detailed cutting guide, colored picture of the sample, and the QR code for the link to the YouTube tutorial so that you can craft along. And that should be what you're watching right now. In addition to the items I mentioned previously, your kit also will include a 3-inch Ziploc bag of some assorted foiled and die cut sentiments, your 3 wobbles, and then 3 cellophane bags. We are going to dive into those individual bags next. One of the A2 cellophane bags includes 3 top fold A2 card bases and 3 A2 white envelopes. The second cellophane bag includes 3 pre-cut and silver glitter sprayed hill panels that are a little bit shorter in the height, and then 3 of the larger, also pre-cut and pre-sprayed with glitter. The same bag also includes your pre-embossed snowflake panel. This will be inked and splattered if you want, and then we'll trim it down for the card. I kept it a little oversized for you so that way you have a little buffer for your ink blending. Lastly, your kit comes with a cellophane bag that has a label, paper for die cutting, and in that bag is the cardstock you need to cut your die cut pieces with your etched dies. The bag contains a 1/4 of an A2 panel of raven, acorn, and carrot, and these are all Spellbinder cardstock. The packet also includes a 1/2 A2 panel of pomegranate red. It's actually pomegranate. And then a full A2 panel of indigo, fog, anchor, and 2 A2 panels of classic white. The basic tools and supplies that you will need for the construction of the card is you will need a paper trimmer, your die cutting machine with all the plates. I also used 3D foam tape And I used a sticky mat for my ink blending. You will want some type of a work surface for your ink blending so that you can blend those beautiful blue inks on that emboss panel. If you are going to splatter, I used my water mister from Spellbinders and the white opaque watercolor. This is the splatter white. You will also want a number 2 or number 4 round paintbrush. I will be using my glitter or my art glitter glue. You can use whatever liquid glue you want, or a tape runner. You will need at least one blending brush for your ink blending. And as I mentioned, I said I would go over the ink colors. These are the ink colors that I used on the card in their gradation. I use the tumble glass on the bottom. So let's move this so it doesn't confuse you. Tumble glass on the bottom, then blend into stormy sky, and then at the top is the faded jeans, and that's how I got the gradient look here. You will also want a work surface to mix your splatter white watercolor. I also used my die release tool, and I will definitely be using my tweezers and my Marvy Ukaida jewel picker tool for the buttons and the eyes of the snowman. They're tiny. And you will probably also want some scissors. I will probably be switching between my cutter bees and then my detail scissors from Spellbinders that are great for non-stick. Those are those scissors I primarily use to cut my foam. And that should cover all of the items that you need to assemble the card. One little extra detail I did add to my card, and this again is optional. I did spray the snow back panel after I was done ink blending with the Imagine Sheer Shimmer Sparkle Craft Spray. I use this a lot on a lot of my backgrounds. It's a go-to, and again, another store favorite. All right, we're going to get into making the card, and the first thing I want to do is ink blend my embossed snowflake panel with my 3 Distress inks. And you just want a work surface that you can wipe up and that is non-porous. And if you are using a work surface that is not sticky, you can simply add some tape or some low-tack repositionable tape runner on the back and stick it to your work surface so you don't have to worry about your paper shifting during the ink blending. I do only use one brush for this and just go in between the colors. And I'm just going to start at the top with my tumbled glass, and I'm going to apply the ink about 2/3 of the way down on this panel and just keep adding. And then I will add the stormy sky and the faded jean to the ink blending. I'm going to move this paper, and I'm just going to start ink blending, and I'm going to fast forward the video and you can just kind of watch as I ink blend out. This is probably the most time consuming part of the card, is the ink blending. Wonderful. I am really happy with my ink blending. I am now going to splatter with the watercolor, the splatter white from Spellbinders. And I'm just going to mix this up. And I'm just going to splatter the paint. I'm going to set this aside to dry and start assembling my snowman die cut pieces. There is an embossed line on the body of where to attach the head for the snowman. Just adding a little dab of glue in the embedded part where the eyes will be placed. Next, I'm going to add the bandana, and the V goes down towards his body. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue behind the V and line this curve up with his neck. And then there's two other detailed layers for the bandana. Grab those. They go right on the end here. It's supposed to represent the little knot. Then the third layer is this little, this is the knot as well. This is the center of the knot. Next, I'm going to add the black buttons along his center, somewhat the center of the body. Then I will add the star to the bandana. You're going to assemble your hat next. There is a detail of the dark blue strip that goes on the bottom rim of the top portion of the hat. I don't know what that's called. I do not know my hat nomenclature, that is for sure. Then you can add the hat to the top of your snowman. Perfect. Next, we will assemble the bird. The orange piece of the bird with the beak is the base, and you're going to add the body piece of the red over that so that the orange beak peeks out beyond the red base. So just line this body up, the red over the orange, and you'll see the little orange piece peeking right through the head there. Next, we're going to assemble the bird feeder. There are three pieces to that. There's the bottom red part, so the gray, the light fog gray. The fog gray is the base. You're going to add the red top and the little actual feeder part where the birds eat. That is red on the bottom as well. Just line up all those pieces. And then if you want to add your bird seed, you can take your marker. What I did was I took my markers and I just took the tip of the brush marker and I just put some dots of the brush on the base bird feeder. The lighter one is kind of hard to see. And that's how I got my my bird seed in the bird feeder. Then I'm going to assemble the bird feeder. So the circle is the top portion of the bird feeder stand or stick, pole. Apply, glue that down. And then you're going to want to glue your welcome sign to your stick. And we're going to check on our background. It looks ready to go. If you want to spray with the shimmer spray, you can do that now and then let it dry as well. I was a little overzealous, so I'm just going to blend out a little bit more ink right here to kind of mask my overzealousness and just kind of cover it right up. And I'm going to be keeping the dark on top and the light on the bottom. You want to, once this is dry, you're going to want to go ahead and trim this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Perfect. May not have had a lot of to trim off on the top. It depended on your piece. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take these 2 hills, and I left these big enough so that you can adjust. You can decide how low you want each of the hills, and then you're just going to glue them on and cut them. I wanted this bigger hill in the back of the snowman, so that way there was some dimension where the bird feeder goes. So you can see here on this panel in the background, I have the big hill in the back, and then I shifted this paper a little bit to be about right here. And one of the best ways to do this is if you have a pen or a pencil, you can just mark on the back side of where you want to trim. So I'm just going to make a little tick mark. I'll trim this with my paper trimmer. These need to be 4 1/4 across. That looks pretty good. I'm really happy with that. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this piece to the panel. And then I will add the second layer. Now I'm going to trim the second layer, and I want it I want mine like that. I'm going to have to end up trimming this edge just a little bit. I'm going to take 1/4 inch off this side. So I'm taking 1/4 inch off the right, and then I'm going to turn it around and trim it to 4 1/4. And I'm going to take, I want it a little bit less, so I'm going to go ahead and take about 3/8 of an inch off the bottom. And I totally eyeballed that. That looks almost right. I'm going to take a smidge off the bottom, about 1/8 of an inch. And there you have it. Now, because I didn't cut this other panel right, I'm going to cut this first. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard to cut through all the layers. And I'm going to put foam adhesive behind the second layer of the snow. I'm going to glue the decorative panel to my card base. Next, I'm going to figure out the placement for my bird feeder and my snowman. And you're going to want your wobble, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove the backing from the solid piece. And I'm going to place this somewhat in the center of the snowman so that he's not top heavy. About right there. And then you're going to remove this white backing as well. Figure out where you want your snowman. I still have to add my arms. I'm going to go right there. Push down. Now I'm going to add my arms. I'm going to glue my bird feeder down. You can pop this up if you want to, or cut a couple of these sticks to give it support. Can add your bird now. And lastly, your sentiment, and I'm going to just glue this on flush. You can add foam tape if you want. And your card is done. Thank you everyone for purchasing your kit from Crafts on the Move. I hope you enjoyed this Christmas card snowman series, and we will be releasing another series starting in April for another 3 months featuring another amazing die set from Spellbinders. I hope your recipients love your cards and that you're getting a head start on your Christmas cards for the upcoming year. Take care and thanks again.